Introducing your host of the Playlisted Podcast, Mr. Austin Burke.
How we feeling? We got some new lights. This is episode 11. We're getting better and better. The first episode was dark as hell, and now we are in the light. It's pretty good. Thank you guys for coming out to the Green Light Bar. My name is Austin Burke. If you don't know what the hell is going on, I'll explain it. But you're in for a special treat tonight. This person that's going to be sitting next to me every week, I love to have people that have a lot of knowledge, have a lot to offer to young artists that are trying to make it in this crazy business. And this person sitting next to me today has seen more shit, knows more people, and is one of the most badass people you're ever going to meet. So please, give it up as loud as you can for Jake Lagrone! All right. Jake the Snake, baby. What's up? How are you?
I'm great, man. How you doing?
Good. Thank you for coming on. I hit up a lot of people to be on this show, and
everybody said no.
Everybody said no, but you said yes. You said
yeah.
yes, and I appreciate it. It's I'm gonna explain to you a little bit about the show, just so I can explain to everybody how it works. So tonight we have 6 artists. They're gonna come up. They're gonna play a song. They're gonna try to impress us. And we're going to give them feedback. You have heard more songs, been on more tours, been around more stars than probably anybody in this town. And so I think you're going to have a very unique perspective to this whole thing, and I'm very excited about it. But with all that said, why don't you explain a little bit who you are and a little bit on your background and why you're the GOAT.
I don't know who you've been talking to, but thanks for the kind words. So I moved to Nashville in '89. I've been a tour manager and a manager for a long time. Currently tour manage Jason Aldean and Brooks Dunn. So we're out with Brooks Dunn on tour right now. 36 or 7 years in town, so probably 15, 18 years in the office managing. Worked with some great managers, Narvel Blackstock, Clarence Spalding. So had some great mentors throughout the time, so it's been good. Managed to stay married the whole time. Raised a couple boys.
And Miss Susan's in the crowd tonight. Yeah. That's a big thing.
It is a big thing. There's I won't say how many divorces just on one bus I'm on, but a few.
Just on one bus. So all right. So you, for those of you that don't know, he tour managed for Reba back in the day. Alan Jackson.
Rascal Flatts.
Managed Rascal Flatts. Currently is managing Brooks Dunn and Jason Aldean in the same year, which is wild. Tell us a little bit on how you got into the business and what's your story on how you started tour managing. Was it tour managing to start?
Yeah. So I'm from Amarillo, Texas, from that area. My cousin was a singer and had a band out there when I was a kid growing up, and I thought he was George Strait, and turned out he wasn't even George Smith, but I mean, it worked out. I'm kidding. That would hurt if he heard that. So you remember the Maines Brothers, Natalie Maines, Dixie Chicks. The Maines Brothers was like the regional band in that area. So when they were booked, my cousin's band was kind of the alternate, and we'd go to, I'd go with him, drove the van and playing little dances and stuff. And he came to Nashville. Before American Idol and all that stuff, there was a show on TNN called You Can Be a Star. Came out and did that, stayed about a year and went back to Texas, and I'm still here 37 years later. But the way I got in the business, I'll give you the shorter version. I knew a bus driver that worked for Keith Whitley. Keith passed away in May of '89. That driver started working for Lori Morgan, and my wife and I were working in a Western store in West Texas. That driver called me in Amarillo and asked me if I'd take Lori to a tanning bed. That's literally, it's a longer story than that, but we took her to the tanning bed, and she just asked me what I did. And I said, well, I just moved home from Nashville. I'm going to get a degree and then move back and be a tour road manager and manager. So it worked out.
Wow, a tanning bed.
Yeah.
Of all things.
Of all things.
So you worked with Lori Morgan, and then what was the next step? So she hires you, or
yeah,
what?
No, I actually flew to Nashville, met with her manager, a guy named Jack McFadden. He managed Buck Owens and Merle Haggard, and dude, you're talking about a big-eyed when you walk into that meeting. And I worked for her from like 89 to 93, and somewhere along that path I got to know Narvel, Blackstock, and Reba's camp, and went to work for Reba. Went to work for Narvel in 93. He had just signed Red Akins, so yeah, I managed. We signed he was building a big office on Music Row, and moved in, and he said, "Hey, I'll teach you how to be a manager." And great mentor, great guy to work for.
That was kind of your college, right?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, well, Lori was probably college. That's like going to Harvard.
Yeah.
For road managing.
It's your master's.
Yeah.
That's your master's. No, that's crazy. A lot of you guys don't know this. So this was actually my first manager in Nashville. So we worked together for many years, and it's one of those things where you ended up going back to Texas and working for a political a political party.
Yeah.
And we're like, get the hell out of Nashville as quick as you can. And but it's I became close with your family and became friends with, like, you were the dad out here for me. You know what I mean? So and I want to just say this and express how important it is in this town to find a manager like a Jake Lagrone for your first manager. I'm not talking about if you find somebody like this guy that will have your back, that will basically do anything for you. I mean, I played the Grand Ole Opry because of this guy. I hung out backstage with some of the biggest celebrities in the world because of this guy. I mean, he has more connections. I used to get Adidas sent to my house because of this guy. I mean, like, the connections he has is just, it's crazy. And you want somebody that makes stuff happen that you can't. As an artist, we can do so much, and you need that person to come into your life and take you to that next step. And he was that for me, and it was at a time that I really needed somebody. So I appreciate you for that, and we've stayed close over the years. Funny story I have, and maybe you can explain this a little bit more. Jacob, your son, back in the day, you guys were going to Disneyland or something. What's the story with Reba's jet and how you guys weren't flying on a jet and he wanted to fly on Reba's jet?
Oh, I think you're thinking. I mean, when they were little, they end up going to a few places with Reba and traveling on the jet. We were getting ready to go. We were getting ready to drive home to Amarillo for Christmas, and it's a long drive. Yeah, and Jacob's like, "Dad, let's just take the plane." I'm like, Reba's not going with us for Christmas.
That's not our plane.
And Dad can't buy the fuel. So
all he knew was a private jet life.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
Man. And he's back there. He's back there.
Yeah, he's in Fort Worth. So
he's back in the private jet life.
Yeah. No, he
all
is.
Right,
that.
I'll let you pick out the first name as we get started.
Aunt Reba did come by a couple times and take them to Walmart shopping.
Really?
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
That's God, that's unbelievable.
I got to get my readers.
Yeah, get your glasses. Or I'll just read it if you want. Gracie Calvaneso, come on up here. Boom.
I missed my timing on the drum roll. I'll do better next time.
Weird story. The only Reba story I have one Reba story, and it's the craziest thing in my life. I was playing the Vince Gill golf tournament, and they had like 20 people that were playing that night, and my name was on the list, and they skipped over my name. And so I get a call. I'm feeling sorry for myself. I get a call on my phone, and it's a random number, and I pick it up, and it's Vince Gill. And he's like, "Austin, I'm so sorry I missed your name." And I was like, "Man, it's all good. I had a good time. We got to see crazy talent, all this stuff." And he's like, no, I want to make it up to you. What are you doing tomorrow night? And I'm working at the Palm restaurant. I'm a food runner still at this time, right? So I'm like nobody. And I said, well, I'm working. There's a Preds game. It's a playoff game, and I'm running food. So I don't think I'm going to, be able to get out of this one. He said, well, buddy, I want you to play the Ryman with me. I said, the Ryman? Are you shitting me? He said, yeah, I want you to play the Ryman. So I said, all right. I called my boss. I said, hey, just want to let you know, I'm not coming in tomorrow, and if I'm fired, it's all good.
No
this
doubt.
is why. So he said, you know what, you're good. We'll figure it out. So anyways, long story short, I played the Ryman with Vince Gill. It was my first time ever, and there was one other guest, and it was Reba McEntire. And she came up, and she said, great job, young man. And that's the only time I've ever heard from her. But
was she tickled to pieces to meet you?
Oh,
that's
man.
her line.
I mean, I just
tickled to
remembered her
pieces.
from Little Rascals.
Yeah.
That's what I was like, this is like the lady from Little Rascals. So, but do you have any cool Reba stories? I mean, she's just a legend. And to work with her back in the day, what's your favorite Reba story?
Well, I don't know that it's a story, but it's just how great she is with people. She's got a way of, if you meet her, and back in the days we'd do big meet and greets for a tour sponsor and stuff. She just has a way looking you in the eye, and there's no one else in the room. I've told her 1,000 times she could teach an artist class on how to act off the field. You know, she's got that gift. She's just authentic. You know.
Yeah, no, you can't fake that. Yeah, I mean, you've worked with so many stars, Jake. I mean,
I do have a story.
Okay, let's hear
real
the story.
quick.
Let's hear the story.
So Brandon Blackstock and I, we were in Cancun. You're too young to remember this, but Y2K, 2000,
I remember Y2K.
the world was
Of course.
going to end.
MTV.
Yeah, so the world's coming to an end, and Narvel and Reba called and said, why don't you go to Cancun with us for the New Year's Eve? If the world ends, it'd be a good place to be. Brandon and I got brave and threw her in the swimming pool. Big mistake. Big mistake.
No way.
Yeah, the next day she acted like she couldn't talk, and we had a show in D.C. For President, I think it was President Bush. Left me hung all day, acting like she couldn't talk.
Because you threw her in the pool.
We threw her in the pool, and I tried to blame Brandon more than me. But yeah, it was. I learned a lesson. Never do that again.
Oh my God, that's wild.
Yeah.
You were kind of wild back in the day, weren't you?
Ornery, you might say.
Ornery?
Yeah, it runs in the family, I think.
What does a tour manager do?
I really don't know. No. I used to try to explain that to my mom. It's like the dishes on the bus, you pick up the money. It's honestly, I've been blessed to work for some big acts. It's logistics and managing, getting them from point A to point B, being the face, the welcome committee, so to speak, and making sure that we leave the venue, wherever we're playing. Nobody's ever going to say, well, they might say it about you. Nobody's going to say Austin Burke's an asshole, but they're going to
say it about me. Yeah.
But if it's our guys that are rude or do something, they're going to say Reba's, they're hard to work with.
Yeah,
So you got to go represent whoever you're working with the right way.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And I think any artist that's in the crowd right now listening, and if you're watching the show, I mean, as the artist, you are the CEO of your company, and it filters down all the way. I mean, it is, there's people that are at catering right now, that represent Jason. There's people, there's people on the Flats tour that are, changing the bus tires or what. I mean, I don't even know. There's so many different logistics of the tour, doing the pyrotechnology, all that stuff, and they represent those artists, and so your job is really making sure they do.
That's right. That's right.
Gracie, are you ready?
Yeah.
Hi, Gracie.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm gonna step on Austin. Where are you from?
I am from Detroit, Michigan, but I've been here in Nashville for 7 years now.
Awesome.
Let's go. Well, I'm excited to hear our first guest, Gracie Calvaneso, singing her song "No."
I'm tired of being everybody's people pleaser. I've been thinking, why don't I put me first? It's not a crime to live my life the way I like because it's mine. There's a brand new me, would you like to meet her? It's time for me to listen to my intuition. Stop saying yes when I want to say no, 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 no. Make my own decisions, give my own permission. Have have belief in what I know, no, when I know I should say no. I'm saying no. I'm tired of acting like I love the 20-something bar scene. Neon lights, killing time, not my vibe. And being asked to pick my brain for the price of coffee. All I've learned, all the work, all the hurt. I won't work for free or for publicity. Won't let it creep across my boundaries. I'm a brand new me, and I like her better. It's time for me to listen to my intuition. Stop saying yes when I want to say no, 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 no. Make my own decisions, give my own permission. Have belief in what I know, no, no, when I know I should say no. I'm saying no, 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 no. I know I should say no, 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 no. I know I should say no, 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 no.
Gracie Calvaneso. Did I pronounce that right? Calvaneso?
You're actually one of the few people that said my name correctly.
I love
Most
that.
people don't say it right.
That is awesome. Are you classically trained, or like where did you learn how to play piano?
Oh gosh, not with piano. I
Vocally,
do,
too,
Yeah, I've
yeah.
got a degree in classical voice. Actually, I studied to be an opera singer.
Wow.
Makes sense.
But didn't end up doing that, obviously.
That's awesome. No, I love this show because it's all different genres. You know, it's not like your normal round where it's just a bunch of bros in their hats. You know, it's we got
Which
some,
we have plenty
we got
of.
some. No, we got some sauce up here. I love it, and I think I mean, awesome vocals. I could hear that song almost in a musical kind
Thanks.
of. But it's pop still. Like
Yeah.
I like how you have. Is that your genre? Would you say pop?
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of write everything. Like I like to write things that are emotional, and really like express true emotion. So I do write a lot of country music, but I mostly sing pop music.
I love that. Yeah. What do you think?
Thanks.
So I thought it was awesome. Your voice,
Thank
I
you.
knew immediately. I mean, you went right at it. That was great.
Thanks so much.
Opera trained. So tell me about writing. Do you write by yourself? You got your tribe here?
Yeah.
That you've kind of.
I have one main co-writer that I really write with a ton. His name is Craig Lackey. Shout out to you, Craig, if you're listening.
Shout out, Craig.
He's the best. I have been writing with him consistently for the past 6 years, every single Monday. And I go to his house, and it's kind of like a therapy session combined with songwriting.
Yep.
He really helps me to feel my emotions and express them in music. And that's really the way that I write. I write about what's real for me.
I love
He helps
that.
me to do that.
Yeah. No, that was awesome. That's
Thank
really
you.
impressive. Great vocal. Great
Thanks so
confidence, and yeah.
So do you mainly just write with him? Do you write with anybody else?
I write mostly with him because I feel like he really gets me, and I kind of bare my soul when we're writing together. But I have a few other co-writers that I write with too.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, and how long have you been here?
7 years now, which is
7 years.
insane. It does not feel
It
like it's
goes by
been that
quick.
long. It really
So,
does.
all right, I'm going to challenge you, okay? I'm going to challenge you,
Okay.
and I'm also going to challenge everybody in the crowd really quick. One thing I like to do is, it's kind of like church when they make you shake someone random's hand and it's super uncomfortable. But I'm going to challenge you in the next week, and you can do it here because there's a lot of people here that are writers. Get one co-write from today,
Okay.
if you can.
All right.
Okay.
Who wants to
And,
write?
yeah. Just
Raise your hand.
there's going to be somebody, and I
Okay.
want you to feel uncomfortable, but I want you to write with somebody else. Not that you're doing anything wrong, just because I feel like that write that you're doing is it's a Monday, it's a therapy session after a weekend. It's like you said, you use that for a purpose. I want you to write a song that is super uncomfortable for you
Okay.
with somebody else.
All right.
And that's it, because I get set in my ways. We all get set in our ways. but I really want you to kind of just try to break out of that cycle a little bit and not be so routine with your same people. Because I do it. Everybody in this town does it. Find somebody new and just go out on a whim and see what happens.
All right.
That's my
Let's
biggest
do
advice. Yeah. I love
Great.
it. I love
Great
it.
job.
Thanks so much.
Everybody give it up for Gracie Calvaneso. Come on. So let's get another name going. That way we can just kind of keep it rolling. Great job. Cole Bradford, come on up here.
Oh, shoot.
Into Sam Bradford,
Yeah,
quarterback.
yeah. So, how's Noah doing, by the way?
Man, Noah's doing great. He's getting a little slower. He's
Really?
hips.
How old is he now?
How old's Noah? 10?
6?
10.
10.
Yeah, no, he's
No way.
No, he was 4 when we got him.
Really?
Yeah.
God, that's crazy. Noah's his German Shepherd, and I have a funny story I wanted to share on this podcast. I was going to meet up with your son, and this German Shepherd is not just a normal German Shepherd. This German Shepherd is trained by Germans. It knows how to do certain things with certain German sayings. It is.
And I forgot all the German words.
Yeah, thank God. Thank God. We're going to get drunk one night and accidentally say one, and it's not going to be pretty. But this dog, and I want you to explain the story on Noah in a second, but this dog is a badass. And I went to go pick up Jacob. Believe it or not, he was sleeping in one day, and I'm just calling him 20 times, and he wouldn't answer. And so finally I'm like, I got to do it. I just got to do it. I went, opened the door, and Noah's like, just ground. I go, hey, Noah, it's all right, buddy. It's me, Austin, your pal. And I was like, I got to do it. I thought Jacob was dead or something. So I walked in, and he jumped up on me and licked my face. It could have been the complete opposite. But that dog scares the shit out of me just because of how trained. Explain Noah and like how you got him and everything.
Yeah. So, I was with Aldean in 17 in the shooting in Vegas, and probably for about a month or so after the shooting, I get a call. Tucker, my younger son, had a German Shepherd that we had just put down maybe 2 months before the shooting, and so Jason was like, we're all trying to figure out how to help each other and stuff, and I had bought some dogs from a lady in Chattanooga for some military guys that had PTSD, and anyway, somehow they got in touch with her. Noah was already 4 years old, intact. He was the stud dog, so we took him out of the dog trafficking business. So, but he's great. He is a big old lap dog for my wife, but I do not have to worry about her when I'm out of town. He has destroyed our front door. UPS and FedEx, there's no signature required, regardless of what we order. So, he's a special dog.
That's awesome, man. I love it. All right, well, Cole, you ready to go?
Yeah, dude, let's do it.
This is Cole's third time on the show, and I want to first of all thank him because I was actually editing a video of his this morning to post tonight, and I got a text from somebody. And I was already down to like 4 people on the show. I'm like, oh, God, we got to figure this out. Now we're back to 6 as of today. But I was editing your video, and I was like freaking out because somebody bailed, and we didn't have anybody to be on the show. And right away, Cole was like, absolutely, man, let's do it. So thank you first of all.
Yeah, dude, thanks for having me.
Yeah, you have one of the best voices, and I'm excited to hear you again. So anyways, let me see. You sent it.
Cole, where are you from, brother?
I'm originally from Conyers, Georgia, about 20 miles southeast of Atlanta.
Yeah, so that's a Braves hat?
That's a Braves hat.
Okay.
I saw your Auburn pullover. I was like, don't worry, it's not Alabama one.
Yeah. Well, hey, my son went to Ole Miss, but look, I got rid of all that. He's on Auburn's payroll, so I'm good.
I got a guy back here that's a Mississippi State fan, so.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I hear you.
Well, everybody give it up for our next guest tonight, Mr. Cole Bradford, singing his song, Driving You Away.
Thank you. What's going on, everybody? Hope y'all are doing well. This is one we wrote a few weeks ago with my buddies Jimmy Snips and Jake Slay. It's called Driving You Away, and hope you guys like it. Granddaddy had a way with whiskey, but he never drank too much. Kept a bottle on the floorboard in the back seat of his truck. Cross hanging from the rear view, bench seat like a church pew. Take a sip or two, but don't you cross that line. Dressed in black like that old number 7 label. Oh, I hate the way you left without saying bye. Wish I had one more night around your kitchen table. I'm unwilling and unable, but I gotta try to let the good Lord call another angel home today. If you were here, you'd be beside me, drinking whiskey, but they're driving you away. Your two-tones got a ton of rust, but them 4 good years still kick up dust. Radio stuck on repeat, replaying old memories to an empty shotgun seat. So I'm dressed in black like that old number 7 label. Oh, I hate the way you left without saying bye. I wish I had one more night around your kitchen table. I'm unwilling and unable, but I gotta try to let the good Lord call another angel home today. If you were here, you'd be beside me, drinking whiskey, but they're driving you to your resting place where they lay you down. The streets of gold where the lost get found. I need you here, but I know you ain't coming home. So I'm dressed in black like that old number 7 label. Oh, I hate the way you left without saying bye. I wish I had one more night around your kitchen table. I'm unwilling and unable, but I gotta try to let the good Lord call another angel home today. If you were here, you'd be beside me, drinking whiskey, but they're driving you away. Thank you.
Wow. You want to start this one out?
Yeah. Wow. That's really strong. Great.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Who's your musical influences? Who you looking up to?
Man, a little bit of everybody, honestly. It's always, I grew up, it's kind of funny, I grew up on rap and country, but really got into country when I was kind of in high school. So, but of course, I loved George Strait, but these days now, it's a lot of Luke Combs, Cameron Marlowe,
Yeah.
Nate Smith, Chris Stapleton, a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of good voices.
Yeah. Nate Smith's going out with us this summer on tour.
Yeah,
so-
he's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Is he
awesome.
direct support?
Yeah.
Who's opening? Who's on that tour?
Oh, we'll check
should know.
Google on that between the next song. I hadn't paid a lot of attention.
We'll
Sorry.
figure it out.
No,
No,
that-
man.
That was,
Sorry, keep going.
No, man, that was great.
Thank you.
So tell me where the story and tell me a little bit about the inspiration for that song.
So we had a write, and I kind of had this idea in my head of a song called "Drinking and Driving," and we were twisting it and we were doing it, and I was like, I'm liking this, but then my buddy Jimmy that's here, he kind of mentioned his granddad, and that he had passed away, and he can remember the day that he was at his funeral and saw his granddad being driven away, and I was like, ooh. I like that. So let's twist it, and that's what we came up with was driving you away there.
No, I got goosebumps there. Yeah. So I'm about to be a grandpa for the first time in June. So we're
awesome.
excited.
Congratulations.
Yeah, man.
I'm about to be a dad for the first time.
I read that.
Yeah,
so,
baby.
Yeah. So last question: which is harder, writing songs or playing football at Georgia Southern?
I would say I'd say writing the songs.
Right on.
My coach at Georgia Southern was Jeff Munkin, who's at Army now. So when I was there, we had curfew 5 nights a week, 10 o'clock. Coaches came to our doors, and no phones, no lights, no girls, no nothing. So
way it still should be.
yeah, exactly.
What position were you?
Offensive line.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And I was a kicker. I'm just kidding.
Hey, Auburn needs a quarterback if you got any eligibility left.
I got 1 year.
That's awesome, man. No, such a great song, Cole. You continue to amaze me, man. I found you on TikTok.
Yeah.
Not that I found you. You'd been found, but I was on TikTok and I saw you and I said, "Do you want to be on the show?" And there's something about you. I think you're finding who you are each and every week, and I think what I'm most excited about is to see the side of you when you find yourself when you hold that baby.
Yeah.
And I think you're finding yourself as a man, but when you find yourself as a dad, it's a different finding.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I agree. Yeah, first baby, right?
First baby, yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't know what it is, by the way.
They're waiting.
Yeah.
They're waiting. I know that from the last time you were on. They're waiting to find out the gender, which is
hey,
crazy.
that's cool. No,
I love it. I love it.
No,
you got to
cool.
keep, got to have some type of anticipation.
Oh yeah. I'm good at taking surprises. But my wife, impossible to surprise her.
Yeah.
And so when I found out it was the day after Labor Day, and I said, as soon as we can find out, I want to know what it is. And she said, I think this will be the one true surprise I ever have in life. And I was like, oh.
Wow.
Yeah, you had to hit me in the heart like that. I was like, all right, fine, we'll do it.
Yeah.
You know what though? Regardless, man, boy or girl, it just changes you, and
Yeah.
so you're in for a treat. And if you're writing songs like this, I know Jesse was saying that you have a way of just the imagery in your songs.
Mm-hmm.
That's the consistency that I've seen, and I know that comes from you because I know we write with a bunch of different people, and obviously, everybody brings a little bit to the right, but you bring that out of people, and I think that's really cool. So keep that imagery going. Just what an awesome song. As soon as it comes out, it's A-listed.
Sweet. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Great job.
Yes, sir. So the A-list, Jake's like, what the hell? He's like reaching for his gun.
I made that, Jake. Are you impressed?
He's
Are you
reaching
impressed
for
with
his
me?
gun, dude. He's like, what in the hell?
Sorry.
Dean made that sound. It scares the
Can
shit
you
out of me still. But no, the A-list, if you crushed it on the show, you make the A-list. And so we're building a playlist. You know how when I was playlisting back in the day, it changed my life. My goal is to help change these artists' life by getting on the playlist. So if you're a fan of the show, if you're here, check out the A-list. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple. It's not on Amazon because my wife's account is linked to it. So I don't want it to say, Alexis Burke playlisted. So I got to invest in a Amazon music account. That's the truth of it. But you're on there, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Just unbelievable. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
One critique, not critique, but I want to encourage you on this. There's a point in the song, and when it airs, I want you to listen to it, but it was in the beginning, it was like about halfway, you lean into that raspier side of your voice, and I think it's because you're not, everybody tenses up when you get on stage, especially one song. It's hard to do that, but you loosen up and you get into this gravelly, real, awesome place in your voice, and I just encourage you to lean on that more in your songs. It's a sweet spot. There's a richness and a pureness in it, and I really want to hear that more from you. So,
cool. Lot of success out of Georgia. Pretty good state for
Decent
country
state.
singers.
Pretty decent.
So, hey, good luck, man. Good luck with the baby.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Cole.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me, man.
We'll have him back on soon for sure.
My bad.
You're good. So, and Jake, you can feel free to say no on this. I just, you kind of mentioned it, but I think a big part of the reason that, we kind of stopped working together, and there was a huge moment in your life that happened, and I feel like if I didn't bring it up, it kind of would be awkward. But, the shooting in Vegas. Yeah. Do you mind just sharing a little bit about that experience and what you went through that day?
Yeah, be glad to. We were on a 3-week West Coast run. It's you do it as long as I've done it, or Jason and a lot of artists. It's kind of Groundhog Day. You're go back to the same venues, know a lot of the same people. And I think we were in Oakland the night before, and my wife and Jacob had gone to Dallas on the Saturday night to go to a wedding, and we were playing Vegas on Sunday. So the final day of the Route 91 festival. Just a normal day, you know. Had no idea there was a guy on the 32nd floor stalking us all day. And I just remember, you know, go through the whole thing, but I told my wife we were going to spend a couple days in Vegas, and we had to go finish the West Coast run. And anyway, I just said, hey, come over at catering, you know, 5 o'clock, we'll eat. She had a friend from her hometown that it was their first concert. It was their daughter, who was 18, it was her first concert ever. And so they came and, you know, took them around backstage, showed them around, and I told Susan, meet me in production about the 4th or 5th song. And she had flown in and checked into Mandalay Bay that day, down the kind of the same identical suite the shooter had, like 2 floors above, kind of down the other way. And man, I grew up hunting coyotes and hogs. I know what a 308 sounds like. And I heard the first shots. And of course, I would be the guy that knows if you had fireworks on the show. And I heard the first shots. I knew immediately we were in trouble. And about that time, our stage manager, you know, everybody has a nickname on the road. Everybody. So dude's on the radio going, hey, do we have fireworks? Of course, very likely I would forget to tell them. And I'm like, no, we have a problem. And I can still, you know, there's things that stand out throughout the whole night. But my wife was texting her friend, and I dropped my backpack and said, follow me. My initial thing was to take my wife to the bus and I was going to put her on my bus, put a mattress over her, and then go figure out what to do next. And some of that happened. We came out the door, headed to the buses, and you know, get to the bus, open the door, get the door unlocked, open it. What I know now, the driver saw the light, just like when you open your truck, you know, he saw the light. And it's crazy, man. God had his hand on us. As soon as we went up the bus, and you've been on a million of them, my wife I kind of pushed her. She ended up in the floor, kind of in front of the couch. But what saved me, I locked the door, but our bus was literally like right by the stage, and then Jason's bus was parallel in front of us. And I paused, and I thought, man, the band's going to be coming. I turned around and unlocked it, and a bullet missed me about 2 inches. And I was just, I'm covered in glass. My adrenaline is off the charts. I took my hat off and shook the glass off of it. And, you know, Susan, as you can expect, she's like, why haven't they stopped them? Why haven't they stopped them? Because there was 51 police officers backstage. You know, just nobody's thinking about somebody that far away. And, you know, it's a crazy thing. That's obviously how Noah came in our life later on. And we do things much different today on the road. To say it didn't affect us would be, you know, it affected everybody in our group. And I had 76 people there that night on Jason's staff. And the things that haunted me for months, and still sometimes do, wives were calling me. I've always most of the time carried 2 phones. And I made 5 trips off the bus while the guy was still shooting at us, trying to get our people. And that's not to sound brave. Everything got really small. And I would get calls, you know, be like, Lexi, you know, is Austin okay? And the panic in their voice was just, and I couldn't tell them, and it was hard, you know, that was hard. So, you know, it changed everything in the way, you know, this is a crazy world. I mean, the world as a whole right now, regardless of politics or where you sit, and I think I don't even remember posting this, but I did on Instagram. It's not about that, you know. People, we got to get back to a place in life where people have respect and treat each other regardless of, you know, all these things. So it's not something I would wish on anybody. There have been some great things that have come from all of that, with an enormous loss to especially the 58 victims that were killed. So.
Yeah. Jake, thank you so much for sharing that with us. I
man.
feel like it's so brave of you to do that, and Thank you. Honestly, I didn't want to bring it up, but I feel like, you know, it's so much a part of you now.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not.
Well, you know, from the get-go, I think it's interesting. I was able to talk about it, unknowingly kind of dumping on my friends and stuff. And, you know, the things that I'll go to my grave. My wife would tell you, you know, she disagrees. I wish she hadn't have been there. I knew the world was evil.
Well, because how many shows is she not at?
She never goes to shows.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
it's like
I mean, that's like she's
Lexi's like Susan. They pick the good ones.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
Vegas, I'm in.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
Boston, I'll go to Fenway.
North Dakota.
But yeah,
sit that one out.
after 30 years, she made one bus trip with me from Nashville to Denver, and she's like, "Where's my pillow?" and no, I think she's maybe made two, but it's a weird feeling to lay back there in a bus weaving around, and you're thinking, "Oh shit, we're gonna." That's why my bus drivers have great names like Bumps and Rumble Strip.
Oh my God, dang. Well, man, I love you seriously,
love you back.
And thank you for sharing that story with us. I mean, it's sickening, and I think, you know, the country music family was just so broken that day, and I remember where I was. It's one of those moments in my life that you just never forget. And you know, you were literally the guy on. I mean, Jason was performing, and you were the guy that had to make sure everything. And it wasn't just that night. There were so many nights that we talked that you had to go and deal with things that they were, you know, all the investigations, all that stuff. And we don't need to get into that. But I'm just saying you were very, very involved in all of that, and it's heavy, and thank
it is.
you.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
I will say this. This speaks of Nashville. Of course, I was there for 3 or 4 more days, and my wife and everybody. Fortunately, I got everybody. I didn't alone, but we got everybody out by noon, back on planes and headed home. But Nashville as a community, Jason gets the most attention because he was on stage, but it affected everybody. But Music Cares, Vanderbilt, numerous people rallied around us, and you know, they sent somebody's idea to send a trauma counselor on the road with us, and you know, I wouldn't have thought of that because you know, guys are guys. You good? I'm good. Okay, well, you're not good.
Yeah,
and it, you know, it took me 9 or 10 months to figure out I wasn't good, but you know, then on top of that, like, I remember calling Dierks Bentley and Keith Urban and borrowing our gear, our amp, all of our equipment sat in a crime zone for 4 weeks, our buses. And so we went right back to work, and we borrowed stuff. All of those artists rallied around us and loaned us gear and helped us stay on the road. And, you know, I told Jason, asked me, he's like, we got a call. I don't elaborate, we can edit this out, but I got home on Wednesday night. Thursday morning, Aldean calls me, and he goes, "Hey, man, Tom Petty died that week. I don't know if you remember that, but he goes, we've been asked to do Saturday Night Live." And back then, most of us hillbillies don't get on Saturday Night Live. So, but, you know, they wanted to do a tribute to Tom Petty and obviously what we'd just gone through. And he said, "What do you think?" And I said, "Well, I don't think we should make anybody go." And I said, "I'm in. It might just be me and you." And I can't even whistle, so... But he said, "I'll call the band, you call the crew." And I learned something on that flight because it was the first time I'd been around the guys at all. Everybody, you know, the crew flew up. The TV, you know, we have different segments of our crew out of those 76 people. So, number 15 or 20 of the crew guys, I flew them on to New York, and then me and Jason and the band, and Chris Parr, one of the managers. He was the only one on the plane that wasn't in it. Every guy talked to Jason. Jason kind of, each one told their story. We all have our version of it from our point of view. And I'll never forget, we got off the plane in New York, and I pulled Jason aside and I said, "Hey, dude, when we get back, we got to get the entire crew, all 76 people, their wives, their kids, you know, we have to realize the trauma that they went through, because it was hours before, you know, guys that like guitar techs and stuff left their phone on their cases. It took me till sunup to account for everybody. And, you know, so there's 5 or 6 hours of not knowing if your loved one's alive or dead. So that was a tough thing to go through. But we did. We went out a couple weeks later and spent, you know, hours, just sort of, we called it the family reunion. And it was, you know, a great starting point to heal and love on each other.
That's amazing, Jake. Yeah, and it's changed security, and I think for the better. You know, a lot of shows are different now, and wow,
So we should move back to something positive and get one of these singers up here. So.
No, we're gonna move on to something positive for sure. Actually, you know what? I'm not even gonna draw a name because I'm gonna bring some guys up here that I know can follow up after that. Chace and Chandler, they're two regulars on the show, and tonight's their first night. My wife, actually, I'm not gonna take any credit for this. My wife said Chace and Chandler need to be a duo. Okay, and so.
I know a pretty successful duo.
You know a pretty successful duo.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see. They don't have a name yet. We're gonna see if they're even worth a shit. You know what I mean? They're good. I'll tell you this: they are some of the best artists individually I've ever heard.
Yep.
So I'm excited to hear them as a duo. So
cool.
let's get them up here. I don't want some poor son of a bitch to have to follow that story. I know they can do it. I'm gonna get their name out of here. Oh my gosh! Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
I appreciate you, man. Yeah, that's some heavy stuff. So, all right, what's the craziest rider request that you've ever been a part of? An artist that you don't need to name their name, but what's something that they had on their rider that you're like, are you?
Oh, right. I'm thinking rider.
No, rider.
Tracking.
Skittles, whatever.
As crazy as it sounds, most country artists are, they're not asking for green M&Ms. But it's not really an answer to the question, but an example. When I worked for Lori Morgan, we were out with Alabama and Clint Black, and you'd walk into our dressing room, and it was just like stacked with chips, beer, everything you could imagine. The next year, we went out with George Strait, and he had a Bud Light sponsorship that year. We had 2 12-packs of Bud Light in the corner in a tub and no ice.
God.
That did not go over well.
No.
But what are you going to say to Strait? Hey, you want to cough up some chips or something here? Or, I just left it at that. So.
That's crazy. So you couldn't have anything else but Bud Light?
I think we ultimately got some stuff. We probably had to pay for it ourselves. Yeah. But, catering's a big deal. And it's the little stuff on the road. When you're out there, it makes all the difference,
Well, and I didn't really understand it. I've never been at that level. So I'm at the level where we're, taking at the most, the peak, a Sprinter van to a Holiday Inn, right? Yeah. Like, that's, like, really making it. But... So it's a little different than what you're doing. Catering, honestly, I was telling Lexi this story the other day. We had this lady, and it was in Missouri. She made the band food, and it was like fried chicken, mashed potato, like all stuff you don't want to eat before a show.
Yeah,
like,
need a nap.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it was good, but it was like super heavy. But yeah, and what I'm getting to is I remember, and I'm not gonna say who it was, but we were backstage, and there were all these tapestries and all incense burning and candles and all this stuff, and then you go to catering and it's all the same. You eat at the same time, and I think the reason for that is like to try to make it feel like home, to try to make something out of this norm. This thing is not normal that we're doing, but you try to find the little things that are normal. And then people start fighting about shit. They're like, what are you doing at the 5 o'clock dinner, right? Like, you don't deserve to be here.
No, you're right, man. It's the little, because you become family with these guys and gals. I mean, we only do 40 or 50 shows a year now, but my wife can tell you, in '91 I was home 4 Saturdays out of the whole year. So it's it's way different today. Fortunately, I didn't do the van and trailer, but I know how tough it is. And whether you're sick or we just had a girl this week on Brooks and Dunn. She's 103 fever, and once it gets on a bus, it goes to everybody. So.
Yeah. Can't do it.
Yeah, let's hear what these guys got, man.
Chace and Chandler, you boys ready?
Big.
Don't fall over there.
Yeah. We need a great duo.
We need new stools.
So he's out with Brooks and Dunn, and we got Chace and Chandler right next to us.
Let's see if we can match up.
No pressure or anything, but this is your first time playing out live as a duo, right?
Yeah, we play together a lot.
You play together a lot.
This is the first time
sexually.
we've written. Yeah. Damn, that's a good point, actually. I didn't think anybody knew about that.
Who edits this? Lexi, I hope?
Austin edits it himself.
Oh,
Did you tell him about that, Chandler? Damn.
Oh, man. All right. Well, they don't even have a name. They're Chace and Chandler, and that might be their name, like Brooks and Dunn.
That's cool. Yep.
We'll see.
Give it up for Chace and Chandler singing their song, Paid for That.
I woke up on the floor this morning, my heart beating in my head. Wonder where I left my truck last night. It's a miracle I ain't dead. I must have gotten into some trouble. My eyes are black and blue. I looked all around this single wide and ain't no sight of you. The drawers are all half empty. The shades are pulled down tight. Half my shit's out in the yard. We must have got into a fight and I paid for that. Debt collector's been calling, ain't no money to give back. Everything I had worth taking, I lost playing blackjack. Always said you'd be leaving, you just never told me when. My mama always told me to watch myself or you'll lead a life of sin and you'll pay for that. I paid for that and ass whippings, headaches and heartbreaks. Cheap whiskey and cigarettes will send a man to an early grave. I think I'm coming down the home stretch with every due that I pay. Every time I get close, something sneaks up and knocks me back on my face, and I pay for that. Looked outside when I realized if I had some place to be, ain't got no way to get there. Hell, transportation ain't free. Cash, ash, or grass. Man, I got 2 out of 3. But I ain't giving up what's rightfully mine for some chicken and collard greens. I broke out my old lawn chair and thought about the shit I did. Thought to myself, there ain't no good reason I shouldn't start drinking again, and I paid for that. I paid for that and ass whippings, headaches and heartbreaks. Cheap whiskey and cigarettes will lead a man to an early grave. I think I'm coming down the home stretch with every due that I pay. Every time I get close, something sneaks up and knocks me back on my face, and I pay for that. People quit drinking every day, but that ain't the life for me. Someone's gotta keep them in business, they got families. Been rolling my joints a little too fat when I probably should have been cutting my grass out of the trailer park HOA, man. They've been riding my ass and I pay for that. I pay for that and ass whippings, headaches and heartbreaks. A cheap whiskey and cigarettes will lead a man to an early grave. Think I'm coming down the home stretch with every due that I pay. And every time I get close, something sneaks up and knocks me back on my face, and I paid for that. Yeah, I paid for that. And I paid for that. Pay for that.
Sick.
Chace and Chandler, everybody. So what do we think? Should they be a duo? I don't know. What do you guys think?
Dang, boys, that's mighty fine.
Thanks.
What,
man. Appreciate it.
I mean, what? Okay, you've been with them enough now, but what makes Brooks and Dunn? Because they're so different. I listen to a podcast, so I know them very well. No, I'm just kidding. They from the podcast I listen to, they sound like complete opposites that make beautiful music together. And I'm asking this question because I have this question for them. So what makes them?
Man, what you just saw right there. when they get behind the mic, it's special. I was on the bus night before last, just me and Ronnie and Kix, talking about, Ronnie came to town with the first 5 songs already written. Neon Moon, Brand New Man. I mean, think about that now. I mean, it's crazy for me because these guys are legends and they're selling out everywhere. It's awesome. But did you bring any management contracts with you? Boys, you're onto something here, big time, and I think there's always a spot. People think about the awards. They're important. Don't get me wrong. It's the award shows themselves don't have the audience that they used to, but it's still important. But it's much easier to get in a duo category or a group category and stuff. So Austin's not steering you wrong on that advice, but
it was Lexi. I'm not taking credit for that.
I knew it wasn't you.
It was Lexi.
But
I'm not that smart.
Yeah.
No, it's having you guys on and seeing your personalities and stuff.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take over here.
Yeah, please.
So let me.
He's gonna sign you guys
a little
to
bit. Yeah, no. Where are you from? Both of you. Give me a little bit of story on both of you, real quick.
I'm from Kentucky, and I didn't have a similar life to Chandler. Chandler's more small town than I am. I kind of consider myself a city boy through and through from my roots. But my whole family's from eastern Kentucky and places where Appalachian music is huge. And I got a great-grandfather who used to make banjos, run a honky-tonk radio show, and my great-grandmother, she has songbook after songbook. Before she passed away, she left them to all of us, and they're all gospel hymns and Appalachian songs. And when I was growing up, we would go to all the bluegrass jams, and that's kind of where I cut my teeth learning how to play music, playing guitar and singing and writing songs. So,
what do you play besides guitar?
This is it. I took piano lessons for 3 years. I can play a little bit of classical piano, and I play bass, and I've been trying to learn banjo. That's tough, but I'm working on it. We got a banjo that was left to us by my great-grandfather.
That's cool. Yep.
I'm from Nashville, North Carolina, the original Nashville. It's a very small town. My granddad was the first Republican sheriff of the county. So when I was growing up, if I got in trouble, I just took home instead of taken to jail. So very small town. There's a tobacco field behind my parents' house. Obviously, crop rotation. It's not a tobacco field every year.
Yeah.
But, very small town.
How many kids were in your graduating class?
44. And we were the biggest class to ever come through there. They were like, this is going to be the longest graduation we've ever seen.
I had 28 in mine, so I'm familiar.
But,
cool.
I started playing guitar when I was 18. My great uncle plays guitar. He's in my band at home, but other than that, no, really. My parents like music, but they never really did it. So,
Great job, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That was special. I think we saw something tonight. That was very special. So my grandparents are in the crowd tonight, and I think they got to witness the next Brooks and Dunn. So
let's hope so.
As soon as that song comes out as a duo, that song is A-listed. You guys are awesome, man. I really don't have any critiques. I just think you fit each other. You help each other out where you're lacking individually, which is important, and lean on each other. And you guys are friends. You know what I mean? So it's like have fun
most
with
of
each
the
other.
time.
Yeah, and
I'm
that's
sure Brooks and Dunn have
that's
times
what
when they
it's
don't
like.
like each
You
other.
won't be if you get to become a duo permanently.
Yeah, I went and saw him in Fort Worth, and I was at that show in Fort Worth when Scotty McCreary and Megan Roney opened.
Yeah.
And I noticed that they definitely do not tour on the same bus.
No.
Yeah.
No.
They're not sleeping in the same bus.
That's more comfort though.
Oh, I'm
when
sure.
when you have that kind of success, that it becomes small.
But it's like being
But
married when you've been
it
together
is.
that long.
Sharon and I share a bed
there's-
right
there's-
now, so I don't know if we'd be able to keep that up.
I spent 10 years with Rascal Flatts. We had 3 buses.
Yeah.
So it's
Damn.
it happens. But man, when you have and Ronnie and Kix would tell you the same thing. When you have something special like that they've been able to do, you find a way to get past your differences.
Sure.
You have ups and downs in a marriage and business and all that, but when it's special, you just have to step back and sometimes you take a break, and for them they've been fortunate. Great songs is the key, regardless, and
Hey,
I've got a few.
Actually, I got a gift for you guys. You're going to be touring a lot on a tour bus, right? Because you guys are about to be massive. So,
Of course.
You don't need to tell me your sizes. I can kind of just take a guess.
I'm an extra small.
Yeah, I know. That's what I got for you. This is our sponsor, Dick Carriers. These are the best boxer briefs that you can get. They are an amazing pair of briefs, and you guys are going to need a lot of them on the road because you guys are going to be touring as a duo, not individually.
Respect your package.
You're going to be touring, and you're going to need those. Actually, Jake, I got some for you too, man. You need some. You need some. Absolutely. But yeah, Dick Carriers. Thanks for Dick Carriers. Get 20% off. Use code PLAYLISTED on your next purchase, and thank you so much for the sponsorship, Dick Carriers. Give it up for Chace and Chandler. Hey, I think as a crew, I think we need to come up with a name for him. I don't know if Chace and Chandler works. It has a little bit of ring to it, but
We like alliteration.
we'll figure that out. Let's keep this show on the road. Holdyn Barder, come on up here. Dean, how are you, bro? I didn't ask you how you doing.
I'm doing good. I landed in Nashville like 2 hours ago.
Yeah, you were in San Diego,
I was
right?
in San Diego, and I had a late flight, and I was like, I'm going to enjoy a day off in San Diego before I go back. Literally, the pilot just got off the flight that came in and just like called fatigue, which I didn't know that was a thing you could do. So he went to bed, and I had to get a hotel. And then I was back in the lobby at 4:30 in the morning. And
How
landed.
was San Diego, though?
It was amazing.
Did
It was
you go
great.
anywhere that we went back?
We played at Moonshine Flats.
Nice,
So we
nice.
bounced
That's cool.
around. My buddy lives out there and everything. So
Nice.
it was fun.
Did you eat
And
any
then-
good food?
Yeah.
Did you just smoke weed the whole time?
Yes. Yes. Which I haven't normally been doing, but in San Diego.
I know you.
Especially on a day off in San Diego, just walking around. Like
Yeah,
Ocean Beach
you
and
rode
everything.
scooters. Last time we went to San Diego, you got high and rode scooters for like 8 hours.
Yeah.
and it was
day. And we were there for a long time.
And this was when like Bird or one of them just came out, and it was cheap. I mean, you could ride for like
Yes.
an hour, and it'd be like $12.
Yeah.
This dude
I was
rang,
looking for scooters.
This dude rang
weekend,
up
but
like $112 Bird
I
scooter
made
ride.
no money. I made no money that weekend. It was all. There was a time where I could smoke a lot, and I have
Man.
learned that those times are over.
I've done it like 3 times, and every time I hate it. And it's just not for me.
I don't enjoy it anymore.
So yeah, I
Except
stick to my vodka. And with that said, I'm gonna go to the next segment. Shout out to Pickers Vodka, baby. Come on, our newest sponsor. $5 shots at the bar, $5 drinks at the bar. Pickers Vodka. Be sure to get your vodka. It's Pickers right here. It's some good stuff.
Yeah.
And I actually have a huge announcement for this is huge. Okay, this is the biggest announcement I think we've made. Pickers Vodka just got out by Big Machine. Okay, Big Machine Vodka. And
That check will clear.
yeah, it'll clear. We're doing some cool stuff for CMA Fest with them. But here's the best news. Before the A-list, it kind of meant something. It was like, cool, I made the A-list. Dean's got the cool music. Okay, that sound means something now, thanks to Pickers Vodka and thanks to Big Machine Distillery. Check this out. If you make the A-list once a month, we're going to have a show where you get paid. I made sure they paid for parking, baby. We're paying for parking. It's an exclusive show. I'm picking 2 people from the A-list to go play for the A&R staff, sometimes including Scott Borchetta of Big Machine record label.
That's cool. Good for
Didn't he
you.
work?
And
he
that
worked
is
with
for
that
you.
girl.
So thank you, Pickers Vodka. That's what's up, baby.
Right
How
on.
cool is that?
Good job. That's great.
I want everybody to win in this town, and I feel like it is so hard to win right now, Jake. Back when we were doing it, it's like John Marks would put you on a playlist and you had a chance, and now it's like you got to have the TikTok followers, you got to have this, you got to have that, you got to have daddy's money, you got to know this guy, know that guy, and do well on TikTok, and do well on YouTube, and do well on Instagram, and do well on frickin' who's what. I mean, I can't keep up anymore.
It's
And,
way different than when I came to
It's
town.
different, but all I care about is if you have a good song, come on this show, and you got a chance, you know?
Yeah,
That's what because that's what it comes down to for you back when all those artists that you worked with were coming up. It's like they just had good songs.
Yep.
That's all that mattered.
That's it.
So I'm excited to hear a good song. Mr. Holdyn Barder, you ready?
What's up, buddy?
Did I pronounce that right?
You did.
All right. Give it up for our... No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I've seen you for 8 years on Instagram, and we're finally connected.
Let's go, dude. Let's go.
Great, man.
Hell yeah. Thank you,
yeah.
man. Buttering me up,
Thanks for
right? You
having
want to
me.
make the A-list. Let's go. I'm just
works.
kidding. I'm kidding. Give it up for Holdyn Barder singing his song, Go Birds.
All right, guys, so I'm from Philly, so in about 30 seconds, you'll understand what this song is about. This is called Go Birds. I got a thing for the cowgirls standing down this. Where I'm from, they're hard to find. Something about that silver and blue with the Tacova boot. There was a pretty one to my right when she sat down and gave me that wink. I missed the kickoff, but I didn't care. Philly special going down at the link. Oh, wish you could have been there. The Cowboys are sure gonna miss her. I hate to break it to them, she looking better in green. Tomorrow she was planning on leaving. She don't wait, change her philosophies. Was it the fans? Was it the lights? Could have been my arm wrapped around her all night. I knew she was the one when she said the words, not the words you might think. No, man, she said, go birds. Oh, yeah, she did. Drove her down to the Jersey Shore. She wanted something more than a Lone Star Texas sky. Told her about my favorite running back while we were running back. The time from that night when she leaned in and gave me that kiss. I missed the exit cause I didn't see how a pretty Dallas girl could win a Philly boy. We were making history. The Cowboys are sure gonna miss her. I hate to break it to them, she looking better in green. Tomorrow she was planning on leaving, but she don't wait, change her philosophies. Was it the fame? Is it the lights? Could have been my arm wrapped around her all night. Knew she was the one when she said the words, not the words you might think. Oh man, she said go birds. Check it out. E-A-G-L-E. Add an S for being so sorry. Wait, I ain't sorry about stealing your girl. Another underdog winner taking over the world. Go Birds, baby. The Cowboys are sure gonna miss her. I hate to break it to them, she looking better in green. Tomorrow she was planning on leaving. She don't wait, change her philosophies. Is it the fans? Was it the lights? Could have been my arm wrapped around her all night. I knew she was the one when she said the words, not the words you might think. No man, she said go birds. She said go birds. Oh, she said go birds. She said go birds. She said go birds.
Holdyn Barder, everybody.
Great.
Thank you.
I think we might have, I don't know what the timing is on this, but we just had like the biggest Eagles fan in the world walk in here. Come on up here for a second.
Wow,
Joe
Joe.
DeVinny
Wow.
is
One
in the
of my
house
own.
tonight. What's up, dude? He was a guest judge on what, episode 8 or 7 with Tyler Rich. Dude, meet each other. I don't know, hang
What's
out
up,
with
man?
each other. These are two of the biggest Eagles fans that I've ever met. So I just had to get you on stage for a second to say what's up.
Heck yeah. Nice to meet you.
That's crazy.
He just heard that song and walked in. Joja could just tell there was an Eagles song playing somewhere.
Joe was down on Broadway and he heard that song playing.
I gotta
and
go
he
to the Green Light
flew
Bar.
over with his Eagle friends, and they're all here now. That's crazy. Oh wait, are you an Eagles fan too? Okay, thank God. Jesus, that'd be weird.
Maybe one day.
Are you an Eagles fan? Oh, there you go. All right, we got some Eagles fans.
There's always a couple.
Well, here's the bad news. We got one of the biggest Cowboys fans
I
I've
was
ever
gonna
met.
say.
Much love.
I was like, I wonder how Jake feels about
Hey.
this because I didn't know.
It's all good, man.
Oh,
That is
shit.
the Eagles fan base There's nothing like it.
Insane,
And it's crazy.
Yeah, I was
man.
at a Cardinals game. I'm a big Arizona Cardinals fan, so different bird. We were playing the Eagles last year, and it was my first time at a Cardinals
We
game.
almost lost that to you.
All right, shut
Or
up.
did we lose? I don't know.
You didn't lose.
Okay.
We won on. We missed a field goal. It was bullshit. We were supposed to have this thing called home field advantage. And there were so many Eagles fans, dude. I swear to God, I've never been in this stadium in my life. And I walk in and I hear everyone screaming. I'm like, let's go, we got a touchdown. No, the freaking Eagles got a touchdown. It was insane.
It's crazy.
So, no, it's crazy. Your fan base is crazy.
I think we're the only sports team that literally 50% of the people who go to the games travel to every stadium.
You wrote this song. I think I've seen it on TikTok. Is it doing pretty well? Did it do well when y'all won the Super Bowl?
Man, I wrote it 2 years ago. It took me like 3 months to write because I wanted to make it, if I'm going to do it, I'm like, there's no country Eagles songs out there, in Philly, it's like kind of weird. You're a country singer, but, it's like I wanted to do it right. And so I was like, oh, let me make it a love song about a Cowboys fan who falls in love with an Eagles fan. So, man, I put it out within 72 hours. I had over 1 million views.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
it changed my life, and we filmed on the field and everything.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did the Eagles hear? Did they get involved?
They
in it?
loved it, and
Sweet.
You know Dom? Do you know Dom?
Big Dom?
Big Dom.
I know Big Dom.
I know Big Dom.
Big Dom is great.
Big Dom is a bad dude.
He's a great dude though too.
No, he is.
But it's a big blessing, that song. So
That's awesome, man. And hey, don't discredit Philly or the state of Pennsylvania because they were. That is one of the most awesome states ever. I mean, I've seen more rednecks in Pennsylvania than just about anywhere.
Pennsylvania.
So
Man.
yeah. So don't discredit that. But no, man, I think it's a song that it definitely is like niche-y. I'm from Arizona. I sing a lot of like niche-y Arizona West Coast country songs. So I get that. I get that you're owning where you're from. So I mean, I think if you're proud of where you're from, keep doing that.
Thank you.
I got to ask you about this thing real quick. It says you broke your toe in front of Kenny Chesney. What's that all about?
It's a great story. This was last year. So Kenny and I used to go to the same gym called Move Fit down in like West Nash. And
Everybody look up Move Fit and sign up right now. Kenny Chesney goes there.
Fit. Great gym.
Does he still go there?
I believe so.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
This was
Everybody
last year.
download Move
He's
Fit,
been
Move
going
Fit.
there
No.
for years, and somebody I look up to so much, who I aspire to be like one day. And of course, I'm doing goblet squats with a 60-pound dumbbell, and
Trying to impress Kenny.
well, he wasn't in there yet. So here's the story. So, I'm doing goblet squats with this big dumbbell. I put it on the bench. Silly me, I should have put it on the ground. Well, the bench, of course, is cushioned, so it's gonna fall over. So the trainer's like, "Holdyn, watch out!" And I didn't react in time. Fell right on my big toe, broke it. Right as I was screaming, Kenny Chesney walks in, and he's like,
So you're the guy.
going. I'm like, of all the times I meet the guy, it's right now. And he's like, oh, man, I feel better. And he goes off, hopping off, doing his skips and whatever,
Yeah.
getting ready for tour. This was like January last year. So
Damn.
But yeah, man, I hope maybe one day there's another moment we get to meet where it's not me breaking my toe.
Yeah. No shoes, no shirt, no problem.
No shoes.
Yeah.
It felt like no shoes that day.
Damn,
so.
yeah, you did. That's wild. Well, man, thanks for coming on here, man. I appreciate you. You were
Thank
last
you.
minute too. We had 2 people last minute just bail, and I was kind of freaking out. And you said that you were gonna come on and help me out. So I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Everybody, give it up for
Great.
Holdyn Barder, everybody.
Thank you,
Let's
guys.
go.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Great job, bud.
All right. Want to draw the next name?
Susan Lagrone.
Oh, damn.
Hey, great to meet you, man.
I'm really off my drum
Yeah,
roll
dude.
game
What the
today.
hell did you do in San Diego?
So no,
Fuller.
it was the
Fuller, come on up here.
Have you been in the same gym there, bud?
We're not. Shit. Yo, you were at Kenny Chesney's gym? Oh, damn. Don't go there. That's bad
Yeah,
advertising.
that's bad times.
You always were tour managing for Jason, and then you stopped. And you were like kind of wanted to get away from Nashville for a little bit. did Jason call you and ask you back, or how did that all work?
Well, that sort of came out of left field. I mean, I was with him for a long time. I went out and just, it needed a change. Artists get set in their ways; they don't like change. And he and I we're truly like brothers off the field. So it's I played golf with him last Monday. I don't think we said one thing about the music business the whole time. I mean, it was all about football. We obviously talked about our boys, or his kids. But, we're that kind of relationship. And then he just came out. His wife, Brittany's from Charlotte, North Carolina. And they were down in Charlotte visiting them. And so I told Kix, I said, hey, man, Aldean's in town. Well, both of us first said, well, let's go play golf. So me and Kix went and played golf at Trump's course in Charlotte. If Trump goes by there, somebody's getting fired. It's not in great shape.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, it's nicer than most public courses, but it wasn't what I thought. But it was okay.
Damn.
But Jason ended up coming out and doing a song with the guys. That was cool.
Oh, that's so cool. So they still do that stuff at that level, right?
Yeah. No rehearsals, cold, all this sound check and
that's so cool,
man.
None
of that, man.
Some of my buddies, they'll be in town or we're playing a show and they'll be like, you want to play Friends of Lord, something like that. But that's cool to hear at that level that they're still doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
And playing golf.
David Lee Murphy's out with us. How many of y'all know who David Lee Murphy is? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Dude, it is so cool having him out. Dust on the Bottle.
Oh, my
God. I've known David Lee since '89. Just great dude. And then there's we got a kind of a progressive bluegrass band opening the show. It's called Molly Tuttle.
Wow.
Dude, if you get a chance, look them up. It is authentic. Girl playing an upright bass.
Oh,
it is
cool.
They are pickers now, and it's really cool.
That's awesome. That is awesome. All right, well, let's give it up for our next guest tonight. Give it up for Fuller singing his song Bad Decisions.
What's going on, y'all? How we doing today?
Speaking of bad decisions, what happened to your foot, man?
Oh, man. Okay, so yesterday I had quite the Sunday fun day. We were out. We went and watched some basketball. We watched U of H win yesterday. And then after that, we went to the Sounds game. And then after that, we went to a bar. And then after that, I went to a writer's round. And we were drinking all day. And when I was walking back to my car is when the storm, when it started raining. And so I started running. And I was crossing the street, and I took a bad step, and I ended up spraining my ankle, man. So.
You know what it was, though? After a day like that, running back to your car?
Yeah.
That's divine intervention, baby. That's true. And that is, I'm going to go back to Driving You Away by Cole Bradford. That is what that is. So, you know what I'm saying? Thank the Lord for your sprained ankle, because it could be a lot worse.
Hey, I'm singing Bad Decisions for a reason.
Yeah, all right. Well, why don't we hear this one? Come on.
All right, y'all. This one's for all the troublemakers out there. Well, I've been spitting diesel on the porch, sunbeaming on the Coors Light, making me weak. Been playing all night straight, draining my time, cursing all I see. No changing my fate, no saving my grace, no soul for Satan work either. Keep singing till a face plant into my grave, make a killing on a dirt bag of living. And I wanna know, am I making bad decisions? Are my decisions making me into something that I never wanna be? 'Cause I've been craving heavy legs, cowboy basket case, wasting the air I breathe till my decisions make a bad man out of me. Well, I've been treading water in for wine, turning truth into a lie, and I just can't stop this feeling. I've been chasing something right almost every time I try, and I'm breaking and I find no meaning. No way to restart, no hiding these skies, been holding on, but I'm bleeding. Keep drowning it with brown. Head is heavy from the crown, but this cockroach gang is still creeping. And I wanna know, am I making bad decisions? Are my decisions making me into something that I never wanna be? 'Cause I've been craving heavy legs, cowboy basket case, wasting the air I breathe till my decisions make a bad man out of me. Am I making bad decisions? Are my decisions making me into something that I never want to be? 'Cause I've been craving very lace, cowboy basket case, wasting the air I breathe. I've been wasting the air I breathe. I've been wasting the air I breathe till my decisions make a bad man out of me. Bad man out of me. Bad decisions made a bad man out of me. Thank y'all very much. I promise I'm not a piece of shit. I'm actually a nice guy when you get to know me.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, man.
Where,
Go ahead.
Where are you from, bud?
Houston, Texas.
All right, good Texas boy. I like it.
Oh, yes, sir.
All right. Right, definitely Texas. No, that was great, man. You got a powerful voice.
Thank you. I
like
appreciate
it. Yeah. How many songs have you written total?
A lot. I've lost count at this point.
That's good.
It was funny, actually. The other day I was in the room and one of my buddies was like, "Yeah, do you need any like songs for your catalog?" And I was like, "Nah, man, I'm good. I've got a lot." And he's like, "What do you have, like 15, 20?" I was like, 45. So I got 45 songs I have to cut before the end of the year.
Man.
So.
No, that's always a good place to be in. I think, you always are kind of going up and down with being creative and then not, and leaning on the town songwriters to, to give you that song you might need. I loved your dynamics. I loved how I can tell you've played a lot live. Have you played a lot live?
Yeah, I've been playing live. I've been playing live since I was in like elementary school.
Yeah, you can tell, man.
This year he was in the Grand Ole Opera.
Yeah. Oh, what was that?
Say something about opera in second
Oh,
grade?
no. When I was in elementary school, I was in 3 operas.
Oh.
Not the Opry. I played.
No,
I was
3 operas.
I was messing with you, bro.
No, so yeah, I loved your dynamics. I think a lot of people come on stage and want to play really hard with their guitar, and Tyler Rich actually mentioned this. Is he here, by the way? Not to shout him out. I think he might be here. Anyways, he's here. Tyler, come up here. I can't take credit for this. I saw you pop in here. He is one of my favorite people in town, but he brought this up, and Tyler, come up here. Come up here. You can take my seat. What's up, brother? Take my seat, because I'm gonna brag on you for a second. I was telling somebody about the show the other day, and I pointed out something that you said when you were up here about how you had been in casinos and playing these live shows for like 10 years and learned this one thing that you gave to a duo. And I was like, that's the coolest part about this show is, well, you gave advice to a duo about playing live and dynamics. Oh, yeah. And I thought it was so look at that. That is some next level shit right there.
Give it up. Yo, come on.
Giving him a mic. But no, I thought it was so cool, and I was explaining the show to somebody. I'm like, Tyler played for 10 years and maybe cut like 5 or 6 years off of these girls' lives of having to freaking bullshit in casinos and all this stuff because you had done it. and gave that advice to them. And I thought that was so freaking cool. And then I see Mr. Fuller come up here and have dynamics, and it was like, you can tell you've been playing for a long time. So how are you, brother? By the way, I've been jamming your album. It's so good, dude. It's so good. Yeah.
I'm good.
We've been touring a lot.
Yeah, we just started the headline tour. We did. We were out for. We're lucky in country because we get to go out on the weekends usually, because we're old. But we just did 2 weeks straight on the West Coast. Got in late last night. Leave tomorrow morning for the East Coast. And
what are you doing here?
Well, wanted to see how you were doing. We were gonna get dinner, and we remembered you were here, and we're like, well, let's go eat dinner.
No, I saw Joe, and I'm like, is that Tyler? You were behind this red pole, so I couldn't really see you. But, dude, seriously, I've been listening to the album nonstop, and I'm not just saying that. Like, it's so good, and I'm so freaking. I see your. By the way, you had a show the other day, and there was a horse in the crowd. Yeah. Is that, by the way, Jake? You've done a lot of shit with horses. Is that good for the horse to have a horse in a crowd for a live concert?
Well, it can be. Depends on how old the horse is and what he's seen. I mean, think about it. You see him. If you watch it on. If you watch the rodeo, like the NFR and stuff. Yeah. I mean, that crowd's wild and loud and fireworks. You'll find out if the horse doesn't like it.
Yeah, I didn't bring the horses to the show. We were playing with, and Big and Rich was on, and of course they're about to play Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. And so all of a sudden, just the crowd parts, and Moses brings in these horses. But the crowd did not part. They parted one at a time.
Yeah. And then it was just like crowd, horse.
Yeah. And I looked. I was sitting there, and I was like, these poor horses, because they look terrified. There's thousands of people, and they're just pushing their way through. I was like, they're probably terrified. They're gonna kick the shit out of somebody in a second. Yeah. And they're like, no, these are docile horses.
No,
they're
dude.
Constantly surrounded by this.
No horse is docile, I don't think, right? They all got to.
He didn't get scared till he saw 2-foot Fred.
Yes.
That's wild. That's wild.
Yeah, they were only there for a couple seconds. They got up literally to the front row of the middle section, and then in the middle, Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. Big and Rich went into literally a 15-minute medley before they closed the show out with the end of Save a Horse, and the horses were like, "Nah, man, I'm not staying for this."
Everybody, Tyler Rich is in the house tonight. Give it up for him. Come on.
Thanks for having me.
Dude, hell yeah. Thanks for coming up here, bro. I saw you. I was like, dude, you got to get up here. All right, back to you, Fuller. Back to you, Fuller. Drinking and driving and shit.
Where'd you play in Houston, Fuller? Did you play some down there in clubs? and stuff?
Yeah. I still kind of play all over the place whenever, really. I had the good graces of playing the what's it called, the Houston Farmers Market Rodeo Festival.
Yep.
This past year, it got rained out, but I still got paid, so
there
I'm
you
not
go.
about it.
Rain or shine.
But no, it's great because being from Houston, there's such a big, network of people down there, and so the show did get rained out, but we found another venue in an hour, and we were ready to go in 2. And so I've gotten to play, kind of all over the place. Discovery Green, a lot of places downtown Houston. I played House of Blues later last year, which was really awesome, and
cool.
It's been great.
Houston's humongous. It's like it should be like a whole state.
Brooks Dunn, we just played there last week.
Did you?
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No.
But I just wanted to tell you.
Where were we
I just wanted to
last
tell you they set the record. And
what?
At 30 years
at the rodeo?
Yeah, we just broke the record.
What was it?
70, right at 72,000.
God dang, that's crazy. That is crazy.
Really cool.
There's so many people. It doesn't even feel real, does it? Like when there's that many people.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of. Well, since you broke your ankle, I want to give you this Pickers shot glass.
Thank you.
Are you drinking or are you hungover today?
I'd like to have a beer too.
Do you want to do a shot? You want to do a shot?
Well,
a shot of vodka is crazy, but might as well. You know what I mean?
Twist his ankle, dude.
Cheers to your fucking broken ankle, dude. That is crazy. Cheers. Hope you feel better soon, and hopefully this vodka helps. Cheers, Dean. Oh my God. Wow.
We can edit
you guys doing good out there? How we doing? How we feeling? I haven't done a shot of vodka since college. Oh my God. I'm having flashbacks of seeing Lexi be interested in me. I'm just kidding. All right, let's draw the last name. Alexandra King, come on up here. Locke right here has an app called Picker, and It is the coolest app for artists, songwriters, bass players, trumpet players, saxophonists, whatever you want, whatever you are. If you're in the music industry, if you're a sound guy, if you're trying to, whatever you do, download Picker, because not only is it a community, but you can get work. You can have people hire you for sessions. You can meet people to write with. You can meet producers and bass players to play on your songs. It is an amazing app, but beyond that, they're building a community like we're building here at Playlisted that wants to help people and grow people. This talent in this town. Download the Picker app right here. It's Pickr, and meet your community, meet your friends, and get your songs recorded with people that you can trust. I'm blown away tonight, man.
Man.
Are you having a good time?
I'm having a great time.
This is awesome. This
Great
is awesome.
time.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thank you to the Greenlight Bar for being the best bar to help us out. This is awesome. So, all right. Give it up for Alexandra King. Are you ready, by the way? I should ask you if you're ready.
I'm always ready.
All right. I love that. I love the confidence. Give it up for Alexandra King singing her song, The Arsonist.
Here we go.
I've fallen for gaslighters and liars. I know the signs, but damned if I would do it again. Don't know how you did what you did. You messed with my mind, made me think that you were different from them. You don't know you're playing with fire. You're kerosene, but I've got the lighter. I'll burn it down while everyone knows you're the one that started it. Let flames take it to the ground. Be sure there's nothing left inside the heart of it. And just like it never happened, I'll stand barefoot in the ashes. You think you met your match 'cause you're the narcissist. Well, I'm the arsonist. Ooh. I'd rather end up with nothing than something that turns me cold. I'll be gone as soon as I see it coming. Yeah, you've picked up a habit, your sociopathic talent creeping in. So you better start running. I'll burn it down while everyone knows you're the one that started it. Let flames take it to the ground. Be sure there's nothing left inside the heart of it. Oh, and just like it never happened, I'll stand barefoot in the ashes. Think you met your match 'cause you're the narcissist. Well, I'm the arsonist. I'm the arsonist. Strike one, I'll strike it. Strike two, ignite it. Strike three, boy, you ain't gonna like it. Strike one, I'll strike it. Strike two, ignite it. Strike three, boy, you ain't gonna like it. Burn it down. Everyone knows you're the one that started it. Let flames take it to the ground. Be sure there's nothing left inside the heart of it. Oh, and just like it never happened, I'll stand barefoot in the ashes. You think you've met your match 'cause you're the narcissist. Well, I'm the arsonist. Well, I'm the arsonist.
Alexandra King. Where are you from?
I'm from New York. I'm from Hudson Valley, New York.
Hudson Valley, New York.
Yeah.
That's what's
In
up.
there.
That's what's
Yeah,
up.
Are you fluent in Spanish? Sorry, Austin, I've done that
Pues
a bunch.
habla español un poquito, pues estudié ahí por un rato, entonces hablo un poquito. Pero no, like I studied there. I just like I used to speak in Spanish, used to dream in Spanish, lost the touch, but yeah.
Damn.
But I'm an Irish girl. Like I don't know, Spanish is just like always was fun. So
Yeah.
Oh my God! I just had a flashback from high school. I went to high school in San Diego, and like a Spanish girl yelling at me.
Oh,
Yeah.
so, I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay.
Never recovered.
Do your Irish accent.
That's what I asked.
Okay, yeah, my dad. Well, we're here tonight at a gorgeous place, and my name is Alexandra King, and I'm lovely here being with the gorgeous folks here tonight. So, like, lucky to be here, and thanks a million for listening to my tunes here. So,
Oh my God!
Conor McGregor's sister, everybody.
Wow!
yeah,
Wow!
Connor's my brother.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. All right. So what's the song about?
Well, so I mean, I almost kind of got into a relationship with this like narcissistic person.
You were just talking in an Irish accent.
you know, now once you started me, I can't stop. So don't yell at me.
What is happening? Are you serious?
Yeah, no, I'm so sorry. Like, all right, I'll go back to New York. Just like give me a glass of red wine in like an Italian restaurant, and I'm back. You know?
I'm so fucking confused right
okay.
now.
I know.
What
I
is
love
happening?
that.
It's all good.
Welcome to the show.
All right, go ahead. Keep
But-
going. Keep
okay,
going.
so yeah, so I was almost involved with this this narcissistic guy in the summer, and
Is he narcissistic or bipolar?
Maybe both.
Or multiple personalities
It
disorder?
was giving
Which
bad.
one?
It was giving a lot of red flags, and I kind of saw the flags coming.
Okay.
And so I got out of that. But I'll tell you, like, so I've seen a lot of like family and
You
friends.
just said, "I'll tell you that." So that's what you just
No,
said.
like, do you literally want to like raise on me tonight? Like, I don't know.
What is happening?
All right,
Are you
You're
from
too good
Ireland?
at that. That is impressive.
Yeah, guys, I don't know. Like,
No, you just go, "I'll tell you that." So.
I'll tell you that.
And then you're like, but forget about it. I fucking, I'll
feel
tell you
like-
about that. Forget about it. I know accents. Don't fuck with me with that. You're fucking with my head right now.
let's go.
You fuck with me, I fuck with you. You
I'll
know
fuck
what I'm
with you
saying?
right back, and
You're
you know what?
giving me a
Yeah.
little shit. I give you a little shit.
And
fuck
I
out of here.
fucking love
I'm
what
offended.
you're giving me.
That offended me.
What is
My last
happening?
name's
Oh, no,
Purificato.
no.
No,
I'm
but as
offended.
it like, I love accents.
My
but
culture's not your Halloween costume.
That's
dude.
what I'm. Dude, yeah, Dean's over here
But
like.
shouldn't it be? Like, shouldn't everyone
I'm
have
kidding.
a little fun?
Jake's
enjoy
over
it.
here like, what the fuck did I just sign up to? What
Yeah.
the fuck did I just sign up for? Huh?
Hey,
Whoa.
we're ending it strong with a little variety.
Yeah.
So
You just
Yeah,
said,
no, this
I
is
don't even
great.
know what you just said. You just said whatever you just said in
Okay,
three
okay.
different
Yep,
accents.
yeah.
So
All
let's hone it in for a
let
second.
me stick to one. I'm probably gonna go with New York.
Which one
Like,
do you-
My natural, hopefully, but I can't promise
That's not.
anything.
That's like Canadian now. Hopefully,
I've never been to Canada, but
I've
I really.
never been to
sorry,
Canada.
guys.
That's, all right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Let her
I'll
go.
speak in English, and whoever understands what I'm getting, like, I love you. Thank you for hearing me. So basically, yeah, almost got involved with this narcissistic guy, then saw the red flags, walked away. But I've had a lot of family and friends in my life deal with narcissistic people. I've seen what happens. They lose themselves. They're manipulated. It's a really, like, kind of a dangerous thing to be in. So this is kind of like an empowerment song. Like, if you see the flags, get out before it burns you, because it's not worth losing yourself just for some temporary loves. So that was just kind of this song, yeah.
I love that. I love that. Okay, I understood that.
Yeah, that was like an
Sorry,
English
your
again.
accents were just like really messing with my head for a second.
No, it's I love
That you're good at it too. You were flipping.
Yeah.
You were doing that on purpose.
Yeah.
You knew what you were doing. You were the arsonist.
Like, do you act? Have you ever acted?
that. Just like, you know, like, of course, like at a bar, like I might pretend I'm like with somebody else for the night, but like that's like the fun of life. Like, you can't be yourself all the
Who doesn't
time.
do No, I love that.
wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then last thing, you have a deaf dog who cannot hear accents. Thank God.
Thank
that
God.
dog would be so confused. Named Pillsbury.
Yeah. No, he's
Wow.
a little chubby Chihuahua doughboy.
Can you imagine being a dog and just hearing like all your fucked up accents? Just
He's international.
Pillsbury,
Yeah.
come here.
Pillsbury. Well, you got
He's like,
fuck off, Pills. Yeah, no.
Is he a
chocolate
pit bull?
chips.
A pit bull, Mr. Worldwide. I'm sorry, I had to say that. Okay,
He is
move on.
Mr.
hey,
Worldwide.
give me the chocolate chips, Pillsbury. Come over here, you fucking. You taking a shit in my yard? What the fuck you doing? Get out of here. What are you?
It's gorgeous.
All right. I don't know what's
Hey.
happening. Sorry, Jake. What do you
No,
have?
you're
What do
good.
you have?
Jake, what do you think?
No, I like it. I like the song. I like it. I like
Thanks.
the message. What? Tell me. So you're obviously from New York.
Yeah.
So how long you been in Nashville?
3 years now.
3 years.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Who's musically inspires? I mean, who do you look up to?
Yeah, so so I grew up in like my dad's family band. So honestly, like a lot of like my family and going over to Ireland like every year, like playing sessions in the pubs. Like I like just love the storytelling of the Irish culture. So that's honestly been a big influence. Like,
Do they have accents?
some in Ireland they do. They got
No. Your family. I'm talking about like
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, my family, like most of them are from Ireland. I have like a little bit of a small family in New York, but the rest of them are over there. So that gives you a little insight as to what's going on.
No wonder it's so good.
What's the name of the stadium that Garth sold out? Like,
It was at Croke Park.
Yeah.
In
So-
Dublin, yeah.
Yeah, so I was there with Reba years and years
Were
ago.
you?
We were
Yeah.
going to play like the arena. The
Yeah.
driver, first of all, you're on the wrong side of the road. The driver's in the wrong seat.
Yeah.
And we're driving by, and in your accent, he said, that's where Garth played 7 nights in a row. And it was a moment for me.
7 nights? Wow.
Yeah, like he sold out 7 nights.
Country
And it's
music's big in
massive.
Ireland.
No, it
Yeah.
is. It is.
Massive.
Yeah, I would encourage you. I mean, with that accent, and I mean, you could pass like, lean into what's your genre? Would you say it's? I mean, it's not country,
I'd say
really.
it's like folk kind of country mix, but my EP that's coming out is going to be like a bit of an Irish kind of influence with like some trad songs that are like really well known over there. The Irish can tell a great story in a song, which is inspiring to me. So I'm doing like kind of 3 really ones I've loved that are great storytelling songs and like 2 originals on the album.
That's cool.
So that's the next stage.
I just saw I don't know if I'll be going with them, but Brooks and Dunn's going to Dublin next year.
Oh, that's so cool.
Okay.
That'll be such a fun show. You're probably going.
I don't know. Depends on what Aldean's
Go
doing.
and have a pint of Guinness.
Yeah,
Enjoy yourself.
I will.
Yeah.
I
That's
will.
crazy.
Hey, great job.
Yeah, no,
Thank you.
Alexandra King, thank you so much. Hey, I gave you a little shit, but it was like you just for a second actually fucked with my head. I heard like
That's
3
fun.
different accents at once.
Yeah.
Very impressive. Yeah.
Thank you, my
Yeah,
friend.
thank you so much.
guys for listening. Just launch it. Cheers. Have a great night.
Absolutely. That was crazy.
That was amazing.
Oh my
I wish I
gosh.
had one accent. That was cool.
You were at the inauguration.
I was.
How
yeah.
was that?
It was awesome. I mean, once you got there, the logistics was a nightmare. They had a bunch of 25-year-old kids.
Did they need a tour manager?
Yeah, they did desperately. But it wasn't just us.
Yeah.
It was everybody. But no, it was cool. I mean, regardless of your politics, you go do something like that.
No, it's our president. I don't
it's
care.
Really
It's-
cool.
I mean, dude, that's the thing. It's like
Yeah.
you get to go to inauguration. It's like it's so special, and it's one of those things. I remember watching in England it was the Queen, I believe. The ceremony and all that stuff. It's like
sure.
it's very
Yeah, no, it
there's
was-
so much history in that, and
Yeah.
like regardless of what side you're on, like that's such a cool thing. And I've been very outspoken on this podcast, maybe too much, but like I think it's super important to just support our president, no matter who he is.
Yeah, no, people.
And
yeah.
we live in the greatest country in the world. We're so lucky to be here and to be able to do a stupid podcast and all be together, drinking together. It's like we represent the red, white, and blue, not just the
for
red
sure.
and the blue. You know what I'm saying?
No,
and
for
that
sure.
white keeps us together.
Yeah.
And
this is not an endorsement of.
No, I want to
of
hear
Trump,
an endorsement.
But
Do an endorsement,
well, hey,
please. Do it.
It's not hard to figure out where I sit, but I will say Trump did sign an executive order today. He's trying to stop all the ticket gouging and all the secondhand
Let's go.
tickets. So he's he pays. There's a lot of people in town, including the guy I work for, that's got a great relationship there. So I think regardless of who the president is, if they're helping this community, I think it's meaningful because the songwriters are the ones. You mentioned a while ago a lot of bad in music. In this. That's everywhere. But what I can tell you is it's bigger than just Music Row. I mean, it's New York and L.A. And I know songwriters that have multiple #1 hits on their, on their resume, and they be working at Costco. I mean, it's just what's happened. It's the good and the bad of TikTok and Spotify and all that stuff. So, it's a different time. So I think I really respect what you're doing. I mean, obviously I came here because you asked me to, but recognizing, songwriter, this town is built on music. You guys know this, but this the best songwriters in the world live right here, and all of you guys have an opportunity to go and meet these songwriters like the David Lee Murphys, and I would encourage you, especially you young writers that have been in town a couple years, I used to make the people at my office do this. Understand who came before you and go, you may not like the Grand Ole Opry or you may not like certain things, but it's important. When I came to town, Waylon and Hank and that they kind of looked at us. I came in '89. That class of '89 they always talk about was Garth and Clint Black and all that. They still had cassettes when I came to town and CDs, and then I went through that phase watching CDs, and there were 2 artists in town. I'm be curious if you can name them. When Spotify first came out, 2 artists held out on putting their music on Spotify.
Was one.
Well, true. Okay, there was 3.
Still, right?
There was 2, but there was 2 that made a lot of press, and one was Taylor Swift, and one was Jason Aldean. So, but you look now. I mean, this is happening with Brooks and Dunn. Kix and I were talking about this yesterday or the day before. You look at the crowd, and it's amazing how many young people are there. Because Kix, they do a thing. Hey, how many seen this? Half the crowd goes up. The other half is young people, first timers, 90s.
Is that weird for them?
It's actually cool. I mean, think about it.
Of course, it's cool. It's gotta be so crazy for them to see that.
It's happening with Aldean too. I mean, Luke Combs, Morgan Wallen, those guys toured with us, opened, and I remember. I don't know. My wife could correct me and tell me, but it's probably 8 or 10 years ago. We did 24 baseball stadiums with Aldean. So those were. And now you look. What I think, like Morgan and Luke Combs and those guys, got to a stadium level in a much shorter time. So those are the positives of the Spotifys and TikToks and all that stuff. I mean, look, I'm older. I get it. I had kids. I know they were on all that stuff. But sometimes disconnect. Put all that crap aside because there's a lot of negative to it. And just go embrace understanding the guys that came for you. For us, it was the Dolly and all the Dolly Parton and all those, and I know everybody still admires them. So, but it's weird, like Aldean, Brooks and Dunn, we've all been around for a long time, seen a lot of change, and we were talking about how hard this town is. Jason did 29 showcases, got told no 28 times, and got a record deal and got dropped. So, I know you guys, it's hard, but it's not any harder today than it was before. I promise you. I know it's all about the experience you're going through. Great songs find a way to get to people, and people have a way of finding them. So, and you guys have even a bigger platform because of social media. So, the key is everybody needs to vote and stay active. We got to figure out how to make sure our songwriters get compensated better.
Let's get our songwriters paid, baby. Come on.
Yeah.
That's awesome. No, I cannot thank you enough for being on here.
Hey, it's my pleasure.
I cannot thank you guys enough for hanging out. All the artists that came on here, thank you so much. My grandparents are in the crowd tonight.
Yeah.
First time they've seen this show.
VIP.
Usually my grandma, you've been in one of my shows.
Oh,
my
yeah.
grandma's right in the middle, front row, every single time. And so it's good to see you here, Ma. I love you.
Yeah.
And
and Susan, I'll babysit.
And Susan's here. My wife is here. It's crazy. It's so rare. You get in these moments in life where people that you love, your core people, are here together, and it just means so much.
Yeah.
So you made that happen. My wife's like, I'm not missing this Jake show. So
thank you,
guys. Thank you so much, Jake Lagrone. I'm
Thank
Austin
you.
Burke. Team's here for Cotto. This is Playlisted. Thank you so much.